Fishing Chronicles live, Saturday. I'm actually supposed to be in Lake Anna. Didn't make the trip, as you can see. The boat did not get finished. We ran into a problem at the cockpit doing the 6-position switch. It's a long story, but I was working with a jump box, which is a temporary power supply for DC current, and come to find out, the jump box, even when I tested it, showed that it had 12 volts, but consequently, when I had X amount of load put onto that jump box, it dropped down to 6 volts, and that's what was causing all the problems, but I didn't know that at the time, and I had to cut the switch out, retest, do all this stuff. One thing led to another. Then we had a minor family emergency. Everything's good with that. But long story short, did not make the first Bassmaster Big Dog tournament at Lake Anna. However, we are in the shop here. We're going to get ready to get that 6-gang switch installed. And we will show you what it looks like when we're done. Thanks for watching. Fishing Chronicles, Joey, in garage number 2. It is Saturday, the 18th of March. Yes, I'm not supposed to be in my garage. I'm supposed to be at Lake Anna in Mineral, Virginia. I was actually supposed to be there on Thursday. We had a minor emergency in the family. Had to do some family stuff, take care of the granddaughter. Luckily, everything is fine, no more emergency, but did not make the first tournament. The story behind what caused all the problem, if you're interested. Now, I'm an electrical contractor, as you all know, and I am not well versed in DC current and DC voltage. So that's all batteries, and all these bass boats have all these batteries. So the way I was testing the electrical work that I was doing on the boat, I was using a jump box, and I'll show you. This is the jump box, okay? It has a battery inside of it, and these things can actually jump start your car, your boat, provide air to your tires, so on and so forth. Tons of them are out there. Long story short, I changed the battery in it about a year ago. Thought the battery was fine, thought everything was fine in the jump box, but I'm using the jump box. I test the jump box. Jump box has a little over 12 volts in it, like 12.36 volts. So I'm figuring all that's good. What actually was happening as I was adding load to the circuit, the battery would drop out and go into like 6 volts. And that's why my lights, when I was turning switch number 3 on, switch number 4 would turn off because there was not enough voltage going through the circuit to keep the other lights on. And then when I was turning other switches on and off, lights were dimming and so on and so forth. I thought because I was soldering all the connections that possibly some of the heat was transduced up into the switch control and damaged maybe a printed circuit board that was up inside with the switches. So consequently, tested it all out, had to remove the switch, finally figured out what the whole story was. Long and the short of it is, you always want to check with 2 battery sources anytime you have any type of DC circuit problem. Don't assume your batteries are good. Have a spare battery, a real battery, a full-size battery, not a jump box. That's what I learned from this. Consequently, what I ended up doing at this point, this got me to install a second battery on my boat. So I actually have 4 batteries now. 2 for the 24-volt system and 2 for the 12-volt system to really beef up my electrical circuitry. We'll show you that a little bit later, but I just wanted to let you know I did not make the tournament. However, last week at our club meeting that we had in Damascus, Maryland, I was awarded my Lunker trophy, and we'll get a picture of that and put that in this video. Again, we really appreciate you watching. The reason we call it Fishing Chronicles is because you never know what you're going to get. We're trying to have some fun here. We're hoping to get the boat done by next week so we can get out and work with those electronics and get some live footage on the water, catching fish, finding fish, using our new electronics, and give you some info on how to and what not to do. And the big takeaway is 12-volt battery systems always have a 12-volt battery to work with to retest the existing circuit that you're working on, because even though you may test that battery and it's going to tell you 12 volts, when load is on that battery, that's when the failure can occur inside with those cells. Until then, we'll see you later. Just want to give you a little bit of a look into this switch panel that we have. So it's a 6-position with blue LEDs, and the way that I laid it out is the first switch is the gunnel LEDs, the second switch are the deck LEDs for the deck area, third is for the YOLO stick power supply for the GoPro camera, number 4 is the storage locker lights, and the 5th is the front docking lights. I put 2 18-watt LED floods on the front. This is the cluster of electrical wires doing the solder joints to keep the air out of the splice, so everything will be encapsulated into a shrink tube to keep water, moisture, and corrosion out of the electrical system. A while back we talked a little bit about this panel that I completely rewired and replaced with all new wiring, including the feed circuit. I replaced a 10-wire circuit and installed a number 6 gauge copper wire. Still going to keep it on a 30-amp breaker, but I didn't want any voltage drop or amperage challenges with that circuit. All of the wires are terminated properly with good solid solder. Solder that you want to use a a rosin core solder. Turn it upside right so you can read it. Hopefully that's in focus. It's 1/16 diameter, and it's electrical repair solder. It's rosin core, so you have a cleaner as well as a good silver solder. I'll show you what it looks like after we get the shrink tube on it. Believe it or not, the 6-gang switch is installed. Shrink wrap, as you can see, is all installed on all the conductors. Normally I'll do 2 to 3 shrink wraps. I'll start with small and go up to larger to give proper insulation value as well as a waterproof connection. The last position on the switch, I had to open up the ground one last time. I forgot I was installing a horn on the boat because it didn't come with one, but I thought a horn would be a pretty good idea to have. So I'm going to put that in on position number 6. That one there, and that is the purple conductor. That's a spare at the end. Now what we're going to do is install this up under the dash, and we'll show you that when it's all done.